What is up, everybody? Welcome to the dungeon. I'm about to do your weekly tarot readings. Keep in mind, these readings are general and they may not resonate with everybody. I'm going to be doing all the zodiac signs. What I'll be doing is I'll be pulling one card for the overall energy of the week, and then I'll pull another card for the overall love energy of the week. So everybody wants to know about love. Not everybody has love in their life. So let's go ahead and get started. Pull up my banner. Here we go. All right, Aries. Let's see what's going on with you What is going on with Aries this week? What kind of energy will Aries encounter? A bunch keep trying to jump out, and I just need one for now. I just need one for now for Aries. Aries, you have the Queen of Wands. So you are going to be feeling quite confident and fiery. I guess there may be some of you who might struggle a little bit with this, and thus the challenge, you will be challenged to be this way. So you will be challenged to stand up for yourself and speak your mind, not allow yourself to be walked over. Um, you may find yourself in a managerial position. Some of you may be experiencing a burst of energy after kind of being sluggish for a while, and you kind of have a can-do attitude right now. You want to get some shit done, and yeah, I highly recommend you do it while you got the energy to do so. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Aries. What's going on with Aries in their love life? Let's see, what's up with Aries in their love life over the next week? We have the Ten of Wands. So there's a lot on your mind. There is a lot on your mind. Your partner or the person you are seeing may be putting a lot of pressure on you, perhaps to make a decision of some sort. Perhaps you are putting a lot of pressure on yourself to make a decision about your relationship or your love life in general. There may be other situations where, like, say, if you're single, you may have a person of interest that you are thinking a lot about. Maybe not really sure whether or not you are going to seek them out, but it's something you're thinking a lot about. So again, this is something like you're kind of putting pressure on yourself to make a decision about this. And if that is not the case, in other situations, if you're single, there may be issues from the past. You may be having your issues from the past coming up and just kind of really making it hard for you to move forward in your love life. And that's because these things you may need to reevaluate these things, revisit these things to reevaluate them. So I'm not necessarily saying revisit the relationship, just kind of maybe if there have been issues, things that you experienced that weren't that great in that relationship, I don't think you really dealt with them. And so now's the time when your mind may be forcing you to do so. All right, let's move on to Taurus. All right, what is going on with Taurus over the next week? What's going on with Taurus? Let's see what kind of energy Taurus will be encountering this week. Okay. Okay, Taurus, you have the Ten of Pentacles, so you may be extremely focused on your home life, your job, making sure you have everything in order, all your bills paid, making sure everybody has everything they need, and in some cases, what they want as well. You know, you may find yourself in a very nurturing mood, like, so even if you don't have a family to take care of, whatever, you may be finding people to spend your money on anyways. um, because, well, I mean, there are a lot of people struggling at this time, and you may not be struggling as bad, so you may decide to help some people out. um, some of you may actually be the ones that are really, really struggling at this time. And so you're really going to be focused very intently on your occupation and making your coins to make sure you have everything you need to maintain a roof over your head, food in your fridge, clothes on your back, everything you need to get through life to survive. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. What is going on in Taurus's love life? I just need a card. Taurus's love life. Okay, you have the Queen of Wands. So you are very strong, very independent, very confident in who you are and what you have to offer to a relationship. You feel very, very good about yourself. So it doesn't matter if you're single or you have somebody, either way, you feel good about yourself. You feel really good about yourself. And I will even go as far to say, even if you are in a difficult relationship right now, you're not letting it get you down. You're not letting the other person get you down. Again, I reiterate, you feel good about yourself. You're confident in who you are. You're confident you're in the right, you know. So, and you're not going to back down. Like, you're just not. And it's not like you are trying to be hardcore antagonistic or anything like that, or aggressive. You're just not going to let somebody take advantage of you, or even give them an opportunity to let them think that they can. Um, But I do think you might need to be a little bit careful, because I do think you might be a little hyper vigilant, and you might, pop off when it's not necessary. It may be just your paranoia. So just kind of be wary of that, because, like, say if you're in the dating stages or getting to know you stages of somebody, that may be a turn off. It's simultaneously, if that's how you are, they need to know that's how you are. Maybe don't watch out. I don't know. At least have the awareness that this is going on. You may be a little extra feisty this week in regards to your love life. Okay, let's see what's going on with my Jimmy Jim Jims. What's up with Gemini? Gemini, we had the Hermit jump out at me. So, but the Hermit likes to stay in. Just in general, you could be staying in a little bit more than usual. Um, but emotionally, you are reserved. Perhaps a little bit more reserved than usual, but then at the same time, not necessarily. You could be the type of person that, kind of keeps things close to your chest, anyways. And you're just super extra in that mode right now. I think there might be a lot of things you have on your mind that you are trying to figure out, and you have the awareness that nobody else can figure this out for you. Only you can. And that has a lot to do with you keeping to yourself, because this is heavy on your mind, but you're not really in a place where you want to talk about it. And, if you're speaking to people and they care, they're going to ask you what's going on and like what's been on your mind and stuff like that. And you don't really feel like talking about that right now. So you may be just kind of avoiding even finding yourself in that scenario, be it via phone, text, messenger, whatever, all the communication forms. You may be ducking and dodging them. Get a lot on your mind. And you know what? It's good to focus on yourself. If you're recognizing that you need alone time and you're taking it for yourself, that's actually very healthy. So um, don't let anybody make you think otherwise. If anybody makes you feel guilty for taking time for yourself, they're probably not necessarily the healthiest person or people to be around. So just let's see what's going on in your love life, Gemini. What's going on in Gemini's love life for the next week? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter in their love life over the next week? Oh, Gemini, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So things may be slowing down in regards to your love life. Moving slow, if they're moving at all. It's not making the progress you would like it to. Let's just say that, point blank, simple. It's not progressing the way you want it to, or as quickly as you would like it to. There are some situations where you do kind of have a steady pace established to your relationship already. Like if it's a long-term relationship and you're just going to be staying there, y'all are good. You may be a little bit more withdrawn from your partner than usual, but it's just part of your personality. You get withdrawn at times, and your partner gives you the space for this, whether they understand it or not. So there may be a distance that develops between you guys, but you're still good, but yeah, in other situations, any potential progress in your love life has come to either a screeching halt, or it's making so little progress it looks like it's at a screeching halt. And that can be really frustrating. In some cases, it could be messing with your mood, and so that's another reason why you're kind of keeping yourself, because you're not trying to unintentionally lash out at anybody. Okay. Let's see what's going on with Cancer. What is going on with Cancer over the next week? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter over the next week? What's going on with Cancer? Cancer, you have the Ace of Cups, so you're going to be very, very emotional this week. Cancer, emotional? Maybe a little bit more emotional than usual this week. There's just a lot. There's a lot, or maybe there's not. Maybe there's just one thing. Maybe there, or one person. This is general energy, but if you have encountered, something new and strong enough and overwhelming enough, it's gonna bleed into every aspect of your life. So you may find yourself in a situation where you're dealing with people that you are very, very fond of and you have a very deep affection for, Perhaps you feel like you really connect with these people, and it just like you feel good. You feel really good being around these people, communicating with them and whatnot. There's a level of comfort that you find there, even if it's not even like, even if there's not even a situation where you're discussing difficult things and they're actively trying to comfort you. It's just kind of like it puts off this vibe of where you feel comfortable, you feel good, like whatever is going on in your life, there is something that kind of makes everything okay, you know. Let's see what's going on in your love life. Well, I do want to say it may not necessarily make everything okay. These are deep emotions. These are very, very deep emotions. But we got to remember that not all emotions are very pretty and like wrapped up in satin and um, unicorns, shitting skittle rainbows and stuff like that. No, it's not always that. So there are some very funky emotions. So some of you may unfortunately be encountering those and have a very difficult time dealing with that, especially since we have this Five of Swords energy here in regards to your love life. You could be dealing with some issues, miscommunication, and drama in regards to your partner, you and your partner, or just kind of like the aftermath of somebody that you have been with, that you're kind of having a hard time getting over. You may be struggling with the aftermath. There may be some occasions, some situations where you and said person are discussing these things in the aftermath. So, say like this would be like post breakup. This could be anywhere from like a week or two to years, kind of depending on the situation, the dynamic of the situation. But so there's some scenarios where you and an ex may kind of come together and have a discussion over what happened. You know, maybe y'all never talked it out. Y'all just left it hanging, and just hanging, and y'all didn't really necessarily have major negative feelings toward each other. Y'all just left it hanging, and there is this um, drive you have, or this pull you have to kind of hammer it out, talk it out, you know, have a better understanding of it. Because I think you may feel like once you have a better understanding of this, it'll help you move forward in your life, in your love life. Okay. Some of you may be struggling to obtain that understanding, but it's something you're working on because you don't want to be stuck. Okay. See what's going on with my Leos. What's going on with Leo this week? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? What is going on with my Leos? Okay, Leo, you have the Empress. So you may be on the precipice of a new phase in your life, or you may be starting a new project. Think new, new, new. The Empress represents new, it represents birth. Even so, some of you may be going into labor, you may be finding out you're pregnant, you may know of somebody who is experiencing the same. Somebody that you care a lot about, so it's like a big deal to you too. Um, those of you who have children, you're really, really, really going to be focused on your children and making sure they have everything they need. It's in school years, so you kind of gotta get that shit in order and get that figured out. So you're on super mom mode this week, hardcore. Um, even if you're not a mother, you're really focused on handling your responsibilities and managing everything to make sure that you can maintain your level of comfort, maintain your status quo, um, in order for you to continue to grow as an individual. You may be beginning some projects that you're pretty excited about, and you really feel like you have the ability to create something new and beautiful out of this. And speaking of new and beautiful, some of you may be improving your surroundings. Perhaps you're moving, or perhaps you're just remodeling, redecorating, trying to make it more beautiful to the eye, more appealing to the eye. Maybe you've left things bare for a really, really long time. And, I think I heard or read somewhere not that long ago that sometimes bare walls and whatnot can be, sometimes, not all the time, can kind of be a sign of somebody, just never being used to staying in one place very long. Like they're always feeling like they're going to be leaving or moving around sometime soon, so they don't really bother making the place their own. Granted, there are some people out there that really just like blank beige nothing. I don't know how. Okay, back to the reading. Leo, what's going on in your love life? Sorry about that. What's going on in your love life, Leo? Leo, you have the Knight of Wands. So here with the Knight of Wands, something maybe happening pretty quickly and pretty unexpectedly. You might meet somebody suddenly out of nowhere that you really, really hit it off with. Perhaps you guys, get a little intimate pretty quickly. Again, this could be unexpected, and I would be careful here with this Empress energy if that is something you do. Make sure you wear a condom if you're not trying to get pregnant, because I mean, it is a potential. I'm telling you, this is your warning. Wear a condom. Um, but really, for the most part, you're not necessarily looking for anything permanent, and that's why you really need to wear a condom. Right now, for the most part, you're just trying to have fun. You're just trying to have a good time. I feel like maybe you are the type of person that's always looking out for and taking care of other people, and you're just kind of trying to go out and have fun and take care of yourself and just enjoy yourself. You're not looking for anything serious necessarily. But if you are already in a committed relationship, you and your partner may be a little bit more active at this time than usual. And in some instances, this could be unexpected. Like either you're surprised by your partner wanting to get down more than usual, or they are surprised by you taking the initiative. Either way, there's some unexpected things going on. Okay, let's move on to Virgo. See what's going on with my Virgos. What's up, Virgo? What kind of energy will you encounter over the next week? What's up with my Virgo? What kind of energy will you encounter over the next week? Virgo, you have the King of Wands. You may be taking the initiative to get things done this week. You're very focused, very intent. You know what you want. You know what you want to achieve, and you know how you want to go about doing it. And you're not really in the state of mind where you want to ask for permission. So you're just doing whatever you want. Even if you are in a position where it may be a quote unquote requirement to discuss this with somebody, you're not really trying to, because you know what you want to do and you're not really going to let anybody change your mind. You're being a little bit stubborn about what's going on. So be a little bit careful with that, because that could really bite you in your ass. But you're at a point where, again, you know what you want, and you're going to do what you have to do to get what you want, and you really don't care how it affects other people. It sounds really, really harsh, and it's not like you're kind of actively going out to hurt anybody or do anybody wrong. You just know what you want, and you're going to do what you have to do to achieve it. And if it affects somebody negatively, well, that sucks, but you still, like, it. Apparently, it has to happen for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So you don't have too much guilt about it. You don't, because it's like, hey, I gotta take care of myself. Like, that sucks, but like, I gotta make sure I'm good. You know. Some of you may not even consider it that far, though. Some of you may be like so disconnected from people that like you don't even think, oh, that sucks for you. You're just like, whatever. Damn. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life, Virgo. What is going on in Virgo's love life? Okay. So we have the Chariot. So some of you may be traveling either to see your person or going on a road trip with your person. I feel like you're feeling a little bit frisky. You want to have a good time. You're looking to go out and have fun, whether you're with somebody or not. If you're with somebody, you're traveling together, you're going to have fun. If you're single, you're going to have fun, either whether you're going to meet somebody specifically, or you're going on a vacation and you're open to meeting anybody. Either way, you're interested in having a good time right now. And you're in a place where you're going to do what you want to do, basically. You're not too concerned with how people feel. Again, oh my gosh. And again, it's not that you're completely disconnected. It's just completely secondary to what you want. So, and for some reason, you're at a point where you feel super justified in making that be the way it is. So perhaps you're the type of person who takes on a lot of responsibility when other people deck it, and you're at a point where it's like, okay, this is too much. I'm at my limit, and we need to change some shit here, and you're just gonna have to fucking deal with it. All right, let's move on to Libra. Let's see what's going on with Libra this week. What kind of energy will Libra encounter over the next week? What's going on with Libra? What's going on with Libra over the next week? Libra, you have the High Priestess. So you may be keeping to yourself a little bit more. You're not completely disconnected from people. Matter of fact, you may be energetically connected to people and having intuitive downloads, I guess you could say, about the people in your life. So there may be a lot of soul searching going on, in which case, how are other people, like, what can they do to help your soul search your soul, Um, Now, granted, sometimes somebody can say something that makes you think a little bit more. But either way, you're thinking internally. It's not necessarily stuff you're discussing with other people. You're trying to figure it out on your own. Um, you don't want other people confusing you, because it's like sometimes, like, you're seeking out advice or whatever because you're confused, but then sometimes that ends up confusing you even more, and you don't want that to happen. So you may be just kind of discussing it with yourself, because that's confusing enough. That's confusing enough as it is, like, without talking about it with anybody else, and just trying to work through things, basically. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Libra. What is going on in Libra's love life over the next week? What is going on with Libra? Libra, you have the Knight of Pentacles. So, not much progress being made in regards to your love life. So you may be single right now, which again it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you're kind of going within. If you are already in a relationship, you know, um, your partner has kind of been giving you the space to do this, the space to focus on yourself. They're there. You can count on them to be there. And if you have any doubt of this, they kind of erase any of that doubt pretty quickly. So, you're just kind of you're focusing a little bit more on yourself in regards to your love life. And it's like, I think there are just some issues that you realize that you have been ignoring. So you didn't realize it was there, and it's like it suddenly reared its ugly head. It's like, I gotta deal with this, you know. Um, so that's gonna be your primary focus this week. But also, if you have just been talking to people, or seeing people, I may have already said this. Yeah, that could just be coming to a straight up halt. Okay, let's see what's going on with Scorpio now. What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter over the next week? Let's see what's going on with my Scorpios. What's going on with Scorpio over the next week? Scorpio, you have the Six of Pentacles. So some of you may be seeking out a loan, or help in some way. It may not necessarily just be financial. You may be seeking out some sort of assistance from other people, but it's kind of a situation where you need their help. Like, you can't really do a lot in return, at least right now. So you could find yourself in an IOU type situation. Um, you could be involved in some situations where you are putting a lot of time and effort and energy into it, and you're not seeing very much return. And if you are dealing with multiple people, you are putting more work in than these other people, but they are getting the same amount of recognition and credit. And in some cases, they don't even You don't think they deserve it because they didn't do it at all. You did it, and they just got credit for it. So that can be very, very frustrating to you. You may be thinking about having a conversation with, somebody higher up in your job about potentially, getting a raise or a promotion, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing if you have been taking on a lot more responsibility than is in your job title. You deserve to be reimbursed for that, and I'm sure you need to because the world's crazy right now. It's always crazy. It's always hard, but it's even crazier now. So you may be making a point in some situations. You may be coming to realize that you are being taken advantage of and drawing the line, standing up for yourself. That's good. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Scorpio. What is up in Scorpio's love life? What's going on in Scorpio's love life over the next week? What is going on with Scorpio? In some cases, also, unfortunately, you may find yourself in a situation where you have been helping somebody else out financially, and again, you feel like you're being taken advantage of and you're having to draw the line. In regards to your love life, you have the Page of Swords here. So, even if you are involved with somebody, there's a certain level of distance here. You're in observation mode. You're kind of in research mode. You want to see what's going on before you take any action, or if you feel like there may need to be a conversation. Like, say, if we take this general energy and apply its influence to this Page of Swords energy, perhaps, again, you're starting to feel like you're being taken advantage of, perhaps by your partner. Maybe you're kind of sitting back and observing the situation a little bit more. Perhaps you have a conversation where you briefly address it, and then you're kind of seeing how they react to what you have discussed with them or attempted to discuss with them, kind of seeing, yeah, their behavior and whether or not it is in a healthy way. Because in some situations, these conversations, even if like you're not even trying to go in depth, like these can turn into petty conversations. If there's misunderstandings or defensiveness, this could very easily turn into some like very petty conversations. And considering your Scorpio, they could deteriorate rapidly. Like there could be a lot of hurtful things that are said that creates more separation. If you do not completely separate, you'll stay away from each other or don't talk to each other for a while. Yeah, that's the very, very unfortunate circumstance that may occur. In other situations, if you're single, you may be like just checking people out. If you have a particular interest, you're kind of keeping an eye on them. Maybe you'll engage here and there. Maybe you're not engaging at all. Maybe you're nervous about whether or not you should engage. So you're kind of checking the situation out first. Again, doing research, seeing what's going on. Just, don't take it over the line to where it reaches stalking behavior. There's a fine line, a very, very fine line. Let's move on to my Saggies. Let's see what's going on with Sagittarius. What is going on with Sagittarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter over the next week? What's going on with my Saggies? The Wheel of Fortune. So big changes. There are a lot of big changes. Perhaps there's something that you've been working on or struggling with for quite some time, years even. It's finally coming to a conclusion. This is very exciting. You may even decide to go out and celebrate. Go ahead and do it. You enjoy it. You deserve it. Even if this is not a situation where things are turning around for the better, perhaps things have turned around. Perhaps they've turned around for the worse. Still, go out and quote unquote celebrate. It's not necessarily about celebrating in this situation. It's more so about feeling better about the situation instead of just going straight up to misery. You know what's fucked up? I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna have fun, or I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna take my mind off of it, I'm gonna enjoy myself, and then I will come back to the situation and readdress it at a later date. Um, so I kind of feel like even if things go awry, you're still going to find a way to turn it around. There's that Sagittarius optimism I love. All right. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Sagittarius. What is going on in Sagittarius's love life over the next week? What's going on in Sagittarius's love life over the next week? Sagittarius, you have the Ace of Cups. So you are loving hard, you are feeling deeply, you are feeling very strongly in this situation with your partner, be it good or bad. However you feel about them right now, you feel it deeply, you feel it intensely. If you are single and you don't have anybody that you of interest, if you do have somebody of interest, you're absolutely like head over heels for them. But if you don't, you may be struggling with a longing, a deep longing, and you still feel these intense feelings. It's like you feel this intense, deep love for somebody that like you don't even know. You don't even know if they even exist. It's like you just have this deep longing. You have all this love you want to give. You want to have a partner, and it's just not happening right now. And that can actually be a very miserable feeling. That can be very miserable and very difficult for you to deal with. But I think that something is going to happen that makes you see things in a different way to where it's a little bit easier to deal with. Okay, let's see what's going on with my Capricorns. Excuse me. What's going on with Capricorn? What is up with Capricorn over the next week? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter? Let's see what's up. Capricorn, you have the Page of Swords. So you may be doing a lot of studying. You're really focused on educating yourself. So like even if you're not in school or whatever, you're focusing on educating yourself on a particular subject. It could pertain to your job. It could pertain to just something of personal interest. Either way, you are trying to gain a better understanding of the situation. Even if this is not education related or higher learning related, you are still trying to gain a better understanding on the current situation by kind of stepping back and studying it. You're observing what's going on around you. I think that you may also be feeling a bit of uneasiness, like something is off. And that's why you're even more so kind of pulling back and observing the situation because you're not comfortable and you want to get to a place of understanding that makes you comfortable. So that's something, that you're working towards. That's part of the reason why you're speaking less and listening more. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Capricorn. Let's see what's going on in your love life. What's going on with Capricorn's love life over the next week? All right, Capricorn, we have the Ten of Cups. So here with the Ten of Cups, you are in a place where you know what you want. You know what you want from a relationship. If you're single, you know what you want from a relationship. You know what you want from a partner. And that's a good place to be, because it's like when you know what you want and you don't settle for less, it kind of makes it easier to filter through all the people that like aren't that, you know? You waste a lot less time, basically. So if you are already with somebody, you may be deciding you want to deepen this commitment. You want to take it up a notch. Perhaps you are choosing to propose or thinking about it, or marriage or a relationship, perhaps considering moving in together. Either way, you're at a point where you're like, okay, I feel good about this, and um, I don't want anything else. This is what I want. So any uncertainty that you may have felt in the past, it's gone. It's gone. Okay. All right. Let's see what's going on with Aquarius. What's going on with Aquarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? What's up with Aquarius? Aquarius, you may be having a difficult time. With the Three of Swords, you may be dealing with a lot of heartache. Some of you may unfortunately be dealing with health problems. Even more unfortunately, involving your heart. If you have suspicions of this, definitely make an appointment, go get it checked out. You may be feeling very isolated or separate from someone or something that is very, very important to you. So you're feeling very heartbroken right now. You may be feeling as if you have lost something, and you're just really struggling emotionally right now and trying to bounce back from this. And the point is for you to bounce back. This pain is going to lead to rebirth. It's going to lead you to a new place in your life that may be unexpected, but in time you'll see it's where you needed to be. You'll have a greater understanding that everything that has gone wrong has led you right where you need to be. And in some cases, where you always wanted to be. So it may be very, very difficult now, but it won't be this way forever. Honor your feelings, but don't wallow. Let's see what's going on in your love life. What's going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? What's going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? What is up with my Aquarian? Aquarius, you have the Ace of Wands. So you may be entering into a new relationship with somebody, or a new situationship. More than likely, it's starting out as a situationship. If it's starting out, it's more of a situationship. There's not like any definite um, definition to it. It may be more just about having fun. So you may be just trying to hook up with people. Nothing wrong with that. Just, take the necessary precautions. If you are already in a committed relationship, you and your partner are going to be going into a new phase in your life. In your partnership, kind of a new start. Perhaps like you guys had been puttering out, your relationship had just been kind of going flat, and y'all are have kind of like a resurgence of affection and energy, and even your sex life may even increase. So like maybe if y'all haven't been together in a while, y'all may be being together a lot all of a sudden. But it's interesting though, because I feel like you've had to experience some heartache in your love life to get here as well. Because this Three of Swords energy, it is going to have an effect on your love life, just because this is heavy energy and it affects your emotions in a deep way. So even if you don't feel this heartache in regards to your relationship, the sadness that you have been and the heartache you have been dealing with has made it difficult and harder for you to connect with your partner. But that is coming to an end. So that's good. Really good stuff right there. And if you're single, you're going out, you're ready to mingle. You have that desire. Let's move to Pisces. See what's going on with my Pisces. What's up with Pisces? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What's up with Pisces? Pisces, you have the Queen of Swords. So you're doing whatever you can to detach from your emotions, which can be very difficult because you are a very emotional person. You may not show it all the time, but you are. You feel it. You're trying to detach from that, though. I feel like you may be dealing with a very difficult situation, and being too emotional could make it even more difficult. So you have to detach in order to move forward successfully in this situation. I feel like some of you may be in school and you may be having a lot of very important, like maybe important tests, finals, paper, essays, whatever. A lot of very important stuff coming up. And that's another reason why you got to completely detach from your emotions. You need to focus on your work, and getting caught up in the way you feel can really distract you from this and it can make it harder for you. Some of you who may be going through heartache in general, you may be trying to distract yourself with your work or going to school. Let's see what's going on in your love life. Or just doing research. Like, you don't have to be going to school to take the initiative to learn about stuff. All right. You don't have to go to school to take classes. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Pisces. What's going on in Pisces' love life over the next week? You have the Two of Pentacles. So some of you may be seeing or speaking to more than one person. You're not really ready to get fully attached. You're considering your options. Nothing wrong with that as long as you aren't being a manipulative POS in the situation. You can be honest with people about this stuff and still do your thing. At least give the person the option whether or not they want to do it as well. Give them a choice. Um, Show them the same respect that you would want. Even if you haven't gotten that respect from other people in the past, it's not this person's fault, you know? Don't automatically assume they're going to do the same shit, because you could end up manifesting it just by being that way, by expecting it, making it happen. Um, Some of you may be very confused about how you want to move forward in your current relationship or with somebody that you're seeing. So you're trying to um, take everything into consideration before you make a decision. Um, Again, trying to detach from the way you feel. You're trying to think about this realistically, because you've learned the hard way that sometimes the feelings aren't enough. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes the emotions aren't enough. There needs to be loyalty. There needs to be dedication. There needs to be more than just feelings. And so you're trying to figure out if that is the type of connection you have here or not, and how you can learn to recognize it for the future, so that, you don't pass it by. But those are your readings for the next week. I hope they resonate for accuracy purposes, and I will see you guys again next week sometime. Maybe, possibly.